I'm going to keep it fully real with you. It's hard. It's hard for me to sit here and talk about football today because I'm mad. I'm like extremely mad. My Benfica just lost that game. Right before the Madrid game, I was watching Benfica. They lost 3-1 to a game they should have won. Your boy's in a bad mood. What football does to us, right? You know what's really sad, bro, is I'm a huge Benfiquista and I'm a huge Washington Commanders fan. And tomorrow we play Philadelphia to play in the Super Bowl, and Philadelphia just has a better team. We're like a Cinderella story, you know what I mean? We're like Leicester right now. We're on the Leicester run from that year a couple years ago when they won the Premier League. So do I think there's a chance tomorrow? There's a slight chance, but Philly are massively the favorite. So I feel like Philly's going to win. I got to be sad twice this weekend. I'm really sad about it. But man, you know, after the Benfica game finished, I just laid on my couch. My wife was like, "How was the game?" I said, "They lost." She goes, "Oh," she walked away. She knew I was sad. And then Madrid came on, and I left Madrid on the TV, and I watched Madrid. And now Madrid, we all sat here making fun of Ancelotti. Myself, and I did it. I made fun of Ancelotti. I was like, this boy need to go. This boy don't know how to manage. Like, I was saying all kinds of nonsense. And now, just like that, Real Madrid is 4 points of Atletico Madrid. And as of right now, as of when I'm recording this, 10 points of Barcelona. And if Barcelona don't win tomorrow, which I expect they will, it's going to stay 10 points. And they play a big game coming up on Wednesday against Brest, which will see them pretty much go to the playoffs of the Champions League. I'm pretty sure they're already locked up in the Champions League playoffs. If I'm being honest, I think they're locked up, right? They're in. They have 12 points. If they beat Brest and teams lose, they could actually still get directly in and past the playoffs. But anyways, let's get to talking, man. What did we see today? We saw what we all knew and what Barca fans knew and what the world knew. But the world and Barcelona fans decided to troll everybody and make fun of everybody that ever said anything positive about Mbappe going to Madrid. For months, I got made fun of. For months, people memed me and made videos about me saying if Mbappe lands Madrid, the world doesn't have to get ready. I mean, Barca doesn't have to get ready. The world has to get ready. And people started memeing me and making fun of me. And now Mbappe has scored a hat-trick and has scored another goal and has put another beautiful performance. And he's walking away with the ball in his hand. And I know people will be like, what skills? Look at the team he played. Look at the quality of goals he's scoring. All right, take the penalty out of it. His finishing is remarkable. His pace is outstanding. His talent and ability is the reason I said what I said in the summer. I said what I said in the summer. I said if the world Barca doesn't have to get world ready, the world has to get ready. Because anybody who watched the World Cup at the end in Saudi Arabia, in Qatar, when it was Messi, Argentina versus Mbappe's France. France was horrendous in that football match. Every player was terrible. We know that. Argentina was cooking France until Mbappe single-handedly put France on his back and took the game to extra time and nearly won the game for France and nearly won the World Cup for France by himself off of his back. And anybody who witnessed that knows that if he was to land Real Madrid with Jude Bellingham, it was going to be a problem for the world. And it is a problem for the world. Although they're not ticking as quickly as everybody thought they would, as these players grow and go into their prime in a few years, they're only going to get better and better and better and better together. This team is remarkable, lads. There's players stepping up big for Real Madrid. Danny had a really big game today. I do think there's a penalty against Madrid that's not called. I got to be honest with y'all. Asensio, I think when it's 2-0, is pulling I don't know the Brazilian's name, but the Brazilian's in the box and he's pulling the shirt. I think it's a penalty. I think when you're pulling a shirt that much where you can see the whole shoulder of the player, it's a foul. And I think there's a foul not given. I think the game could have been 2-1 at that point, at that stage. I think there maybe should have been a penalty. But Mbappe did Mbappe type things today, man. Mbappe was phenomenal. And there's one thing I want to talk about that a lot of people won't say, but I want to say this. Jude Bellingham, for me, is probably the best midfielder in the world. And the reason I want to tell you this is for this reason. Jude Bellingham's talent, all of us know his talent. His talent's incredible. His passing, his way to attack, the way he opens up the game, the ability to score goals. But what is the most impressive thing about Jude Bellingham? For the talent he has, okay? Look at what he does when they don't have the ball. Look at how he presses. Look at how he cuts the passing lanes. Look at how he influences the team when they don't have the ball. This is something that you usually don't see in players with this much talent. Look at Vinicius Jr. or look at Mbappe when Madrid don't have the ball. They don't chase down the ball that much. And their forwards, it's usually down to midfielders and defenders to do that. But you would say Jude Bellingham's more of an attacking midfielder. At least that's what he's been at Madrid. But if you pay attention to him, the way he chases down every ball, the way he attempts to intercept balls, the way he attempts to win the ball back for his team. One play that comes to my mind is the other team's in possession, and I'm looking at Mbappe, and he's just standing there. He's actually just standing still like this with his hands open, at the number 9 position, just standing there like this, literally doing this. And Jude Bellingham is close to the center backs, Madrid center backs, and the left back for the other team has the ball. Jude Bellingham comes on a full sprint as if it's a breakaway. Full sprint just to get in front of the player with the ball. Just to put pressure on him. Just to make him make a bad pass. And he makes a bad pass. And I think to myself, players with this much talent, players with this much influence in the team, players with this much ability usually don't do the work defensively. And this guy, with as the biggest season last year, probably Madrid's best player beside Vinny, he didn't let the noise get to his head. The ego didn't grow. He defends, he attacks, he does everything that is needed of Real Madrid, even with all the talent he has. And if Real Madrid goes on to win La Liga, if Real Madrid goes on to go far in the Champions League, people will praise Mbappe, people will praise Vinny, people will praise all of the attacking stuff. But people need to understand the way Jude Bellingham works that midfield needs to be admired in such a young player, in a player that not even close to his prime yet. And I know some of y'all will say I'm glazing, but it's the same thing when I talk about Pedri and Gavi and amazing midfielders like that, right? Like Gavi's such a good player, but look at the way he works on the field. And you look at Jude Bellingham, he has that same energy, that same constantly working to get the ball, even though his talent is through the roof. He's still trying to get the ball back for his team. It's something to really, really admire. So do I think that Real Madrid's probably going to go on to win La Liga at this point? Look, 4 points is absolutely nothing. But the problem is that Barcelona just has showed us so much inconsistency this year. It's cool to show up and beat Real Madrid 4-0, right? That's cool. Everybody gets on social media and has a fun time with it, and memes are made and videos are made, and everybody has a really good time with it, right? But you got to show up to the Celta Vigo games and the Valencia games, and you got to show up with that same energy in every single game. You know what I'm saying? And we saw my Benfica able to really expose Barcelona defensively in the Champions League. Yes, they went on and lost the game, but they allowed 4 goals to a really struggling Portuguese side. Benfica's not a good team this year, and they suffered 4 goals, and there was a time where they were down 3-1. And realistically, if there wasn't mistakes from Benfica's goalie, Barca would have been maybe wouldn't have been able to get back into that game had there not been like mistakes. So when you really sit down and think about it, it's going to be hard for Barcelona to compete with this Madrid if they can't get consistent and win the games they're supposed to win. Because for me, lads, they should have went to Benfica and won comfortably. And there was actually, if you really like look at the refereeing and the way the game went, they could have lost that game. And it was a game where I truly think they should have won comfortably because, again, Benfica's been poor. And it's the same thing in the smaller games in La Liga. You need the same Barcelona that shows up to play Madrid in every single game. And it's the same problem Benfica's having in Portugal, bro. Benfica showed up to play that game against Barcelona, plays a game where you're like, damn, they're actually really good, and they go play Casa Pia, and you're like, what team is this? It makes no sense. It's just mindsets of players or teams. I'm not exactly sure, but Real Madrid has La Liga in their hands. I know it's mid-season. I know there's a long time to go, but if Mbappe's going to keep growing into the player that we know he is and going to be, Jude Bellingham's going to keep being Jude Bellingham, And right now, I think Real Madrid are fully the favorites, man. What a beautiful game they put together today. 3-0, easy win. 4 points clear of Atletico Madrid. 10 points as of right now, clear of Barcelona. I need everybody in the comments down below and let me know, man. If you had to predict La Liga right now, do you think Real Madrid will slip up? I truly am going to say no. I don't think Madrid's going to slip up. Again, long way to go, but I don't think they're going to slip, man. I think they, if Barca keeps playing the way Barca's been playing, they've been slipping up in smaller games. I mean, there's a chance for Real Madrid to win another La Liga. What do y'all think?